there, welcome to this episode of Polish Up Your Pedagogy. Today we're at the routines to encourage cooperative learning, and this is our third and final part. So we're looking at the pedagogy sales today, and that is in the learning section, that learners progress through high quality learning opportunities to enrich knowledge, promote curiosity and develop skills for learning, life and work. This also links to your GTCS standards for career-long professional learning 3.1.1, which is planning effectively to meet learners' needs. So today we have 3 more cooperative learning routines to help foster a cooperative learning environment in your class. This one was called Make a Date, but I've often used it as a business meeting with pupils as well. This is a really versatile tool. I printed out lots and lots of small clocks on little pieces of paper, and I'd ask pupils to make a 2 o'clock appointment with someone in the room and maybe a 4 o'clock appointment with someone else. And I'd use often the parameters of things like not someone at your desk or someone that you've not had a meeting with before. And then later in the day, in a different activity, I'd ask them to go and find their 2 o'clock appointment. That would then be the person who was their shoulder partner for their task for that afternoon. Then I might pose a question regarding a topic, some part of health and well-being that we were talking about, perhaps a numeracy word problem. They'd get to discuss it with that person, and then I might say to them, now go and find your 9 o'clock appointment, and move on the conversation to some other question or pose some other statement. Sometimes we would, the appointments would make up pairs for working together for a much longer period task, perhaps making a poster together about something we'd been doing, or making a Google form in response to a piece of non-fiction text. And this really helped to support children who needed to know what was happening. So I might say, we're going to make a 3 o'clock appointment and you'll be working with that person after lunch. So they'd make a date so they would know who that their person would be for later in the day. This is a really flexible tool to be used in lots of different ways, and I'm sure you can see many kinds of application for it yourself. Then we've got Find the Fib. I really enjoy Find the Fib. There's tons of ways that you can put this into your learning. I particularly used it for introductions or plenaries for numeracy and maths. Sometimes the fibs would be colour coded. So in the example at the top, I often had the first 2 being green, the next 2 being orange, and the last 2 being red. And I would be asking certain pupils to look at particular ones that were on there. It's really nice for problem solving tasks for groups, and an extension to it would be for children to make their own fibs and see if they could trick us into getting things wrong. I've also used this as statements about character motivations, and they would have to find the thing that was not true about their character. I've also used this for reading and looking at main ideas from a text and the supporting evidence. So if we've read some text and I've put the main idea, then they had to find the thing that was not part of the supporting evidence. We've looked at facts about social studies, for the water cycle, for Vikings, for parts of a flower. The ideas for Find the Fib are endless, but don't make them too easy to find the fibs either. Give the children a little challenge. When they're doing Find the Fib, they can use their clock partner from before when they've made an appointment. You can ask them to use the huddle tool if that's better. You could even ask them to use the stand and deliver method to be able to find the answers for this. So it's all about making sure they are cooperating. Another really good tool to use with this is the inside-outside circle, so they'd be able to discuss it a lot. And finally today we have Give One, Get One. So the Give One, Get One, they need to pair up with a partner. Again, this could be from a clock appointment, and they work together to make a list. So both people write down the list, and it must be identical in the give column. So 2 people go away with an identical list. The pupils then have to find a new partner. So that could be the next person on their clock. And they read out the list to their new partner. Their new partner says, yes, I have that, or no, I don't have that. And then they get to keep one of the ideas that they don't have and write it in the get column. and then they move on to a new partner and they repeat and repeat until you decide that there is no more ideas left to give or to get. There are tons of applications for this routine as well. If the answer is 24, what is the question? That's a really great one for maths and numeracy, for thinking about a plenary. How can we make sure children get all their rights? What made such a character behave in such a way? It could even be the KWL at the start of a topic. I've also done this with facts for a non-fiction piece of text that we were working with. But you could also use this with your staff quite easily. So it could be about problem solving for making change. What could be solutions? It's a really solutions focused tool. I'm sure you can think of lots of other applications for this as well. So just before you leave today, just consider 2.3, learning, teaching and assessment from How Good Is Our School, and think about how well we deploy a wide variety of innovative and creative resources and teaching approaches, including digital technologies in our classroom. Thank you so much for coming along today and joining us here. If you have any other questions or would like to reach out and contact anyone from the pedagogy team, then please get in touch.